Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have Nicolas Cage wandering around in your dreams, whether you're being pursued by a killer in the woods, whether you're just sitting in your apartment and you suddenly wonder, what is a shadowy figure doing, and oh my god, what is he doing? Why is he coming up to me, and why is Nicolas Cage trying to make out with me? What the hell is going on? Have you ever wondered what Nicolas Cage would be doing in your dreams? Well, Dream Scenario comes to us from A24 and was written and directed by Christopher Borgley, who did Sick of Myself, and stars Nicolas Cage. If you couldn't figure that out from that particular intro, I don't know what to tell you, but yes, Nicolas Cage in your dreams. This entire movie is based around that oddly specific idea that you have, you weirdos. So A24 definitely is for weirdos, even though I love A24 and they have made some really, really bizarre movies. Beau is Afraid in particular earlier this year was really goddamn bizarre, filled with social anxiety and great social commentary, and a hell of a goddamn performance by Joaquin Phoenix, and Nathan Lane was terrific in that, and various other people. This is about how people consume viral media, viral sensations, as it were. And Nicolas Cage is at the peak of his goddamn powers here. It's a weird comedy, psychological drama, horror, just amalgamation, everything human centipede together, and it is not for everybody. In fact, I'm very surprised this actually got a theatrical release. Nothing against A24, nothing against Nicolas Cage, nothing against the rest of the cast. Everybody, from the supporting cast to the people that played his family, were fucking terrific. But this lives, rides, and dies on Nicolas Cage, and he is absolutely up to form, peak form, great comedy, great bizarreness. It is definitely bizarre. It is how bizarre, how bizarre. Every time I look around, there's Nicolas Cage and his face. It is so strange. Basically, he starts appearing in various dreams of people all over the goddamn state, world, whatever. He's popular in France. He's popular everywhere. He's been everywhere, man. Nicolas Cage doesn't know what to do. His character, Paul, who's a professor who just wants to teach his class, he's an unremarkable individual. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. He wants to get a book published. He wants to be recognized for his intelligence, but he doesn't want to be this viral sensation that people are consuming on all kinds of social media. And for some reason, he's just appearing in everyone's dreams. No idea why. No idea what's going on. Do we get any explanations later on? Maybe, kinda, maybe not. We'll find out in the spoilers, but Nicolas Cage is absolutely tremendous in this movie. And it's about dealing with becoming an internet sensation, and you have the glory, and then you start getting the backlash. It's like people are so excited for the big, new, hot thing. Yeah, referencing Nicolas Cage looking like he does in this movie would be referencing a hot, young thing. Nevertheless, you have all that, you have all the excitement, everything. People are making memes about it. Don't let your dreams be memes or your memes be dreams, however the hell that saying goes. And various other people are in this. I mean, take a look at the cast. It's actually really stacked with a lot of surprising faces. Some you may recognize right off the bat. Some you may have to look up on IMDb. But A24 managed to get a stellar goddamn cast here and a lot of really crazy things happening. So the best way to describe this movie, beyond the comedy, psychological, drama, thriller, horror aspect, is that Nicolas Cage is just trying to live his life, and his life gets turned upside down all around. Come on, defense work. He has his, he has his family. You have Julianne Nicholson, who's fucking terrific. You have Lily Bird, who's also very, very good as the younger daughter, and then you have Jessica Clement. And you have Star Slade, who I actually need to check out because she was really good as one of the students. She actually had a couple really good scenes. I need to check out more stuff that she was in. But it's how people consume media and deal with things, and how things can be so hot for a little bit and so great, and you have all this fame, and then you get shoved to the side, and then you have to deal with the backlash and all this stuff. And I'm sure there's more that it's trying to say. It is definitely weird. I'm not going to say this is for everybody. I could totally see people watching this in theaters and hating it. And also, I think it's a bad time to release it wide during Thanksgiving weekend. I would have thought maybe you should have released this in the beginning of December. It's getting a wider release, actually, in my area starting next week. But I traveled to Seattle to watch this because A24... Nicolas Cage has had a tremendous resurgence. Pig and Color Out of Space and Willy's Wonderland. More stuff that he did that was, I don't want to say low profile, but it was lower budget, and he just got, taken up back to superstardom because he paid off his debts, he got all this stuff. Now no longer, not the bees, not the bees. And Nicolas Cage plays the perfectly conflicted Paul who he wants to publish a book, he wants to be recognized, he just wants to be seen, he wants to be unremarkable, but he wants to be recognized for the great things that he knows and the stuff that he studied and everything. Feels like he's not getting the respect. Sometimes he hears things maybe that really aren't there. Sometimes is it a dream? Is it real? Is it Memorex? What's going on? The dream sequence are phenomenally well done. So excited to talk about this. I can barely form coherent sentences. But Christopher Morgley, I need to check out Sick of Myself, as I've heard it's really goddamn good. But it had a $10 million budget. They made the most of it. That's one thing about A24. They are able to stretch a dollar and really make stuff good. The Green Knight cost about $15 million, and that movie looked incredible. Wasn't exactly their best effort. Had some good stuff, but nevertheless. From nightmares to dreams, from dreams into nightmares, from night into dreams, I think is what that game was. But nevertheless, I think it's for the Sega Saturn. It's just so bizarre, so strange. And the way it starts out, he's having a dream that he's in, and he's just wandering around. It doesn't matter what's going on. It could involve his own family. And he's like, I love my family. I would never do anything to hurt them. None of this, And then things get weirder and weirder and weirder. He's even getting pitches to do commercial spots and stuff like that. All this weird stuff's going on. And then eventually, maybe we kind of get to a possible explanation, but it is so bizarre. It's almost sci-fi-like without actually being sci-fi. It's just such a tremendous mixture of genres where I can see this movie bombing at the box office. I could see Nicolas Cage's, star power carrying this movie to, at least maybe making its budget back. But to me, that would almost be a bomb because $10 million or not, this movie actually has gotten a pretty good marketing campaign behind it. Now, it's not going to bomb like Renfield, but it's probably not going to make the most money. It's going to do well, and I'm really excited to see what people think about it. But I am going to get into spoilers here in a bit, but tremendous performances. Nicolas Cage, once again, absolutely goddamn great. Just fucking great. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Okay, so we get into spoilers now. Basically, him and his wife don't handle this fame all that well. Especially Nicolas Cage's Paul. He can't get any respect from his class, but then suddenly he's appearing in more dreams. He had this one thing happen a little bit earlier with somebody that was writing something that basically plagiarized his stuff and is taking his knowledge and stuff that he studied for years and years and years and turning it into profit. And he just wants to know why they would do that. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a Nicolas Cage ache, I guess I could say. But that doesn't go all that well because he's trying to catch her, saying she plagiarized him, but then he kind of panics a little bit, and while recording, at the behest of his wife, he's not exactly sounding all that great, and then he says, oh, honey, don't worry about it, she agrees, but we couldn't really come to an impasse, or we came to an impasse on that. And then more dreams start happening, more dreams, more crazy dreams. People see him at restaurants. People see him all over the goddamn place. There's one point where there's a thing called Thoughts, a new form of online social media blog type thing where they do advertising, and Sprite is really interested in having him pose with that, doing commercial spots, since he's invading people's dreams, unbeknownst to him, unknown as to why he, not understanding any of this stuff at all, really just wants to get a book done. But then there's this one particular girl that really takes a bizarre interest in him that actually does have dreams about him. The main person doesn't actually have anything to do with these dreams. They actually just said, no, it just seemed like a really, really good idea. I'm leaving a few performances up in the air as far as the spoiler section. But what ends up also happening is during the build-up to this, somebody invades his dreams, or invades his house rather, saying, I need to kill you, but the person's panicking, they're holding a knife and everything. Well, they need a psych evaluation, they're off their manic, all that stuff. And that ties in a little bit later on. As things start to unravel, his wife actually does get more opportunities at her job. Nicolas Cage even gets one point where he's talking to one of the particular young ladies who's significantly younger than him, and it turns out it's actually a sexual fantasy that she has about him, where he basically walks in from a corner of her apartment, very small apartment, but not knocking, live how you need to live, and basically just ends up, doing a whole lot of stuff with her. Now, intense dreams, all this stuff, and she wants to see just how this dream will be, but he loves his wife. Obviously, he loves his wife. He also starts to suspect that maybe there's something going on with her and a co-worker while he's, got all this stuff going on. Also, he finds out that he's really big in France. Like Jerry Lewis. Remember, all the stuff that happened with, Nice Lady. He became really popular there and everything. So, all this stuff's going on. It's really, really busy. It's really, really intense. And what ends up happening is he does stuff with this girl, but it's not what she thought, because you have this perfect picture in your mind, and then you see what happens with the dreams. And when your dreams become reality, don't meet your heroes, don't let your dreams become reality. Let's just say, as an older man, he has a point where he climaxes way too soon before they do anything, and he gets embarrassed and leaves, and he's all upset, and now things are really starting to turn. The worm is turning. And then people start to, instead of praising him, they start to slander him. They start to get to where everything's really, really not going all that well. He's having dreams or they're having dreams where instead of wandering around and just doing the stuff, like this one student had a dream where he was being pursued by a weird guy in red. Suddenly, Nicolas Cage is just wandering around. That's it. The dream cuts off. Another one, a girl's having like a dream where she's on a piano and two alligators are wandering around, and then the dream ends there. Everything seems innocuous, if not a bit weird, sexual dreams, whatever, otherwise. And then suddenly it turns to where nightmares. Now, he's killing people. This meme, this viral sensation, is poisoning their minds. They're sick of it, and they're finding a way to get rid of it. At least that's how I'm interpreting this goddamn thing. I mean, that's the best way I can come up with it. And now he's being targeted. Students are claiming they feel unsafe around him. There are even a couple points where he's attacked a few students. All this crazy shit is happening. His wife ends up splitting from him because he wants to do good, but unfortunately he keeps fucking up even though he doesn't mean to. And the parents are asked, him and his wife are asked to stay away from their daughter's performance because the other parents are uncomfortable. There's even a point where Paul is brought in to talk to the students and everything, and walks, into the gymnasium a little bit more at the behest of this counselor. And then suddenly everybody gets up and leaves because they're scared of him. They're sick of him. They don't want to see him anymore, even though he's done nothing. And then Paul tries to break into one of these particular, or break into the school theater to see his daughter, and he ends up accidentally busting this one woman's hand, this middle school teacher, not meaning to. It's like a door jam thing. And that ends up leading to him basically having to go just totally dark. It's totally dark, not do this shit anymore, none of this stuff. He doesn't want to do this anymore. He doesn't want to be bothered anymore. We smash cut suddenly to where there's this thing called the Norio, I believe is what it was. There was a lot of stuff going on, and I had people next to me, or otherwise I would have made notes. But it's this thing that lets you get into people's dreams. This marketing and everything shows this guy gets into the brain and the dreams of this 19-year-old Korean boy, which is really fucked up if you think about it. And now you have to wonder, was it just because of him? Because they even mention, Paul Matthews disappeared and his picture burned, and then they go to this viral marketing. So you have to think they somehow maybe harness this stuff, or he was the first experiment, because it leaves some of this stuff up in the air, and now people can invade other dreams. And then there's even this point where Nicolas Cage has a bizarre dream where people have invaded it. They've invaded his dreams, and there's this one guy marketing these, chewable supplements or whatever the hell it is. And he just wants to be with his wife. But his wife is separated. You got to keep them separated. Hey. In the beginning, there was rap, as our Lord and Savior Dr. Dre once said. But first, in the beginning of the movie, stuff starts to fall down. He's just raking up leaves, and one of his daughters gets assumed into heaven. or just pulled up and everything. You know, really fucked up shit. And then he's talking to his wife because he has one of these devices. He's doing also book signings in France. And things are going well, except instead of dream scenario, which is what he wanted his book to be, it's, you know, something to do with nightmares. He has a dream where he gets into his wife's, you know, or he has something where he gets into his wife's dreams, that is, and he's walking down with her, everything's good. He's wearing a really, really giant suit after saving her burning on a pillar. Not sure about that. And then he's like, I wish this was real. He gets assumed up into heaven or starts to float away. And the movie ends. It is very bizarre. Dream scenario is very bizarre. I'm just summarizing as best I can. I'm not necessarily certain I fully grasped every single thing, but I know I loved it. I know I loved it. I know I love Nicolas Cage in this. The awkwardness, the bizarreness, the great performances in this. A lot of really good shit. A lot of really good. I'm going to give it an A+. Probably get killed in the comments for that, but that's okay. A+ for me, so let me know what you thought in the comments, please. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.